You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 29th day of July, 2016. This is the last broadcast day for the month of July. When we roll back in here on Monday, it will be the first day of August. And so, over the weekend, you need to go to CFRN.net. Let me just walk you through it. Just in case somehow you don't know. Hope you enjoyed the activities last night on television. Okay, here we go. You watching? Oh, by the way, if you're new to the show, a special welcome to you. To see what I'm about to show, you need to go to CFRN.net, which is probably where you already are listening to the audio stream, unless you're driving and listening via a third-party app. On the home page, right-hand side, big microphone, click it, follow the instructions on that page. You'll be registered for 1 day today. Okay? Now, on Monday, if you do this same process that I'm about to show everybody, if you do this on Monday, you'll be trading, let's see, 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. So you'll be trading 30 seconds for 31 days. All right? You with me? All right. Now, when this pops up, you can make it go away just by doing that. Okay? And anytime you want to talk, if I'm around, you can talk with me. Sometimes, especially when I'm working late, people come onto the site and they hit that thing, and I go, "Hey, how you doing?" They're like, "Is that really you? It's a robot, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's really me." And they're blown away that I'm actually manning the chat box, especially at that hour. They're not the only ones amazed. So listen, here's what you do. You scroll down here, big microphone, click it, takes you to this page. And it says, simply click this link and you're instantly registered through July 29th, 2016. See, that's today. But over the weekend, if you, because I've got to move heavy stuff all afternoon in 115-degree heat. Don't want to burden you with my troubles, but our historic church downtown is in escrow, and we are taking furniture out today. Okay, so 115-degree heat, corner 9th Avenue in Van Buren. You got a strong back and a willing heart. Come on down. We have a ministry that's coming. We're donating almost everything. All the kitchenware, the dishes. I mean, we've been there since 2002, so we've accumulated 14 years of stuff. Now, we've already done the major clean out, but there's still 14 years of stuff. And we're donating most of it, 90% of it, to this ministry, who's bringing the truck and bringing the strong men with the strong backs. It's an inner city ministry, the very thing that we were involved in for so many years, and that's how we came to own that building. And so we're going to move pretty quickly through the show today. Michael is doing planes, trains, and automobiles, so on Monday he will catch you up with everything that happened in the live trading room today. We had a great day. We hit the daily goal early on. I forget how many trades we took, but we ended up in the 2 hours with one contract grossing 400 and something bucks, like $450 I think it was. So it was a really good day, and he'll tell you all about it on Monday. So you're going to come over the weekend, and you're going to click this, except it's going to say August 31st right here. And when you click the link, it's going to take you to a page like this. You're going to fill it out. It's no big deal. And see, if you come in now, it says join webinar in progress. After the show, when I reset it, it won't say that. It will say join. I don't know what it says then. You get the idea. And then you'll get an email. If you put the right email in the box, you'll get an email every day at 11 a.m. Eastern that says, reminder, CFRN radio show starts in 1 hour. Click here when you're ready to join. So you only have to register once, okay? We do not put you through this pain and aggravation on a daily basis. emini.cfrn.net. Boom. Now, right here, the very first post, I've got it pinned to the top, so when I put other stuff in, and I didn't have time to post any charts last night, and it's a shame because there were so many awesome ones I wanted to post. This tells you pretty much everything you want and or need to know about the Daily Double. The beta test begins Monday, okay? I spent a lot of time yesterday afternoon sending those who have gone through the process. They have step number 1, they've gone over to PayPal and they've taken care of getting their subscription set up. And that means that you'll get the 2 trades a day on your Telegram app between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, 5 days. Okay? Once you take care of the subscription over at PayPal, now you're not going to get billed anything, not even one thin dime, not a penny. Okay? At the end of the beta test next Friday, when the second trade goes out next Friday, that officially ends the beta. Then you have a couple days to decide, is this for you? You know? Now, if you're a part of the beta test, then you're going to be locked in at the $29.95 per week price for life. The regular price is $49.95, okay? And so as soon as the beta ends, nobody else gets in. In fact, I think the way we've set it up is once the beta begins Monday, then the doors close. We work with just the beta group, and then come a week from Monday, we will open the doors to the general public at the $49.95 per week rate. So it's a great price, it's a great product. You can trade from the supermarket, from your backyard, you're laying in the hammock, you're napping, you're at the ball game, and your phone. I'm going to still make that video so you can make your phone sound like a telegram. And how to change the background so that it looks like my background. Where's my background? Let me show you. Where are you at? Telegram. See? Manhattan background. It's kind of cool, right? Now, I sent out a test, and I would have to refresh to show how many members are actually in there, and I'm not going to do that because it's a healthy number. Let's just leave it at that. No need to advertise our success. But we want you in. Now, here's the deal, Neil. You've done the PayPal thing. You've then you've got the Telegram app installed. You did your deal over at PayPal. We get an email from PayPal saying you've done the deal, and I'm working my way through the list. And I got a ton of them done yesterday, where I send you out a very simple email that looks at the top, it says welcome and blah blah blah, and then it gives you the link. And what you have to do is if you're going to do this on your phone, is you take your phone and you open your email client and you find that email that I sent you saying welcome. And in that email there's a link that says click this link to become a member of the CFRN Daily Double secret channel. Click it and bing, you become a member. Alright? Now, anybody misbehaving, we can ban, okay? And the little video that I'm going to finish making, I'm basically doing 2 things. I'm going to teach you how to change the background so it looks like the Manhattan skyline. But there are other backgrounds. If you don't want the Manhattan skyline, you can have something different. And if you don't want the Telegram sound, if you want a different kind of a sound, you can have a different sound. I'm going to show you 15 minutes video tops, because we're not worried about any of the other features. We're simply getting you set up so that when I send out the 2 trades a day next week, Monday through Friday, between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm not saying that in the future I won't do any overnight trades. It's not possible, but so many people get frustrated when they see these beautiful trades trigger at 3 a.m. and they go on and run to be $1,000 trades for the day. But you know, nobody wants to set up all night. I mean, we'd all set up all night probably if we knew we were gonna get a $1,000 trade, but that's the thing, you don't know that. So anyway, by going to emini.cfrn.net, almost everything you need to know is in this post. Now remember, when you first arrive at the page, it's not a big post like that. It's a smaller post. You got to click these 3 little dots. Bing. It gives you all the info. Okay? All right. So I was welcoming all the new folks. Glad to have you with us. If you haven't heard about, maybe you're hearing about the Daily Double for the first time, you can always email support@cfrn.net or call 949-42-EMINI. Get all the information you want. Calling 949 might be better because Michael's going to be away from the office for the next 2 days, and he'll probably answer his phone. I'm so buried in emails right now, just trying to get the people who have signed up processed. But everyone has my word. Now, we're going to set a time, like, let's do it right now. By 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, if you have not received your welcome email with the link that gets you into the Daily Double Secret channel, you need to call me. You can email me, but again, you could get lost in the jumble. Call me at 415-857-5654. Please don't call that number during the show because I can answer it, but it's cumbersome and awkward, and it's better that you call me when I'm not on the air. Okay? Again, that number is 415-857-5654. Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock. If you haven't received the welcome email with the link, or if for some reason you just haven't been able to get into the room where it says welcome to the Daily Double, CFRN Daily Double, Daily Trades, blah, blah, blah. And there's a quote from Einstein about miracles. You know you're in the right place. Okay? And that's all you got to do. But I'll cover more of that in the video. All right, last night, we're going to, we got to get things in order. Let's do the numbers. Cash numbers first. Starting in the U.S., the Dow is down 45 points. The NASDAQ is up 16. The S&P is down 5. Now, this is highly unusual for the S&P to be down 5 and the S&P to be up 5 and the Dow to be down 45. Okay? They tend to walk almost in lockstep at a 10-to-1 ratio. If the S&P is the bellwether, as some may call it, if the S&P is going to be up 5 points, then the NASDAQ should be up 50 points. Look, the Dow should be up 50 points, but yet it's down 45. It's not up 48. All right. So these two, who are forever hand in hand, are standing on opposite sides of the street. I asked Michael in the live trading room this morning, I said, you think we're going to see a rocket into the close? He said he wasn't convinced. And I'm not convinced. It was just a question. But anytime you see the Dow and the S&P diverge and hold it for a period of time, somebody's right. Either the S&P's right or the Dow's right. Let's say the Dow's right and the S&P folks cross the aisle and join the Dow folks. That thing's going to fall like a rock. On the other hand, if the Dow folks realize the S&P folks got it right and they cross the aisle, then you're going to see the S&P rocket into the close. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Dow down 45, NASDAQ up 15, S&P up 4 3/4, Russell 2000 up 7. Okay. In our commodity basket, crude oil is up 18 cents, and gold, I love gold, up $15.40. Go gold. Moving to the Asian markets, Nikkei up 92 points, Shanghai down 14 points, and the Hang Seng $100 billion baby down 282 points. That's 1.25%. Last but not least, Europe is green wall to wall. The DAX is up 62 points. FTSE is up 3. The CAC is up 19. Now, none of those are really big numbers, but the fact that they're all green, I think, speaks well of Europe kind of starting to balance itself out and accept what's happening and dealing with it. Okay? All right. So that takes care of those numbers. Again, on Monday, Michael will do the live trading room recap for today and also for Monday. I should open the chat box because he's usually chatting with folks at this time of the day. And I keep messing up my chat box. Hey, can somebody put a Y in the chat box for me so it will open again? It disappears on me because of my mouse mess. Thank you. Thank you, unknown stranger, whoever you might be. I'll find out once I drag you over to the right window. It happened again. Oh, there it is. Got it back. Okay, happy Friday to you, John B. John B says it was the same malarkey on a different day from Hillary last night, I think. She was trying to tell me what she thought I wanted her to hear in order to get my vote. All the while, she knows full well that she cannot deliver on what she was promising, in my opinion. Well said. Don't let her deceive you. Well said. Lord help the USA. Well said. Richard says, I am not getting normal emails for the morning partners meeting and daily radio show. Call Citrix, and they said they have a problem with emails being sent out. Do you know that, and do you know how long before being fixed? Thanks. You know, Richard, that's the first I've heard of it. My emails have been coming in. I can get in touch with Citrix this afternoon and talk to someone. Maybe I can get a supervisor on the line or something. And now, are you a Comcast customer by chance? because Comcast folks sometimes butt heads with the Citrix folks. Let's see. Is there anyone else in the audience having trouble getting their email 1 hour before the trading room or 1 hour before the radio show? Anybody? Okay. Nobody's typed in yet. Bart says yes. Bart, you're with Comcast. You've often had problems, and so my apologies. Richard, no one can see what you type. If you would, oh, you know what? I can just right-click your name, and I can copy your email address to my clipboard, and I can take a little look at it. Okay, that's a Canadian address. You know, I don't know, but I will sure look into it for you. Okay. Now, Bob Z's in Canada too. He says, I get it afterwards a lot. Now, Bob, one thing you might want to do is when you sign up, check the time zone setting, both on your computer and on the sign-up form for GoToWebinar. There's a thing up there that says show in my time zone. That might somehow have an effect. So then other than that, Bob, I would call Citrix and talk to them, because they make a commitment that they will actually stay on the phone with a person until they resolve the problem. I'm going to give everyone the phone number. Now, we pay them to send out these reminder emails, okay? There's too many. We can't send them out all ourselves. So they do this for us. And by and large, they do a very good job, okay? So when you call, be pleasant. Go to Webinar, or Citrix is the parent company. 800, this is toll free, 263 6317. 263 6317. Now, they might say, do you have a webinar ID? And you'll go, well, I go to 2 different meetings a day with these guys. But what you can say is, they told me to tell you support at CFRN.net. That'll ring a bell with them, and they'll go, okay. And they'll pull our file right up, and they'll be able to tell if your email is even going out. And then they have a way of tracing it around, as it pings off all these servers around the world, making its way to your desktop, laptop, smartphone, etc. And they'll do their very best to help you, and they're very nice people. Dwayne, if went long at 2169, where is my stop? 8 ticks below that price. Well, 2 points. If you went long at 69, then 2 points below that would be 67. Now, at 2169, that was the Concierge Trade Alert from last night. We put in a swing high at 71.75, so the market already gave us 2 3/4 points. Okay, so we already got our goal for the day on that trade. But if you're still in the trade, your stop should be, depends on how you're trading it. If you're trading it for a big picture goal, then well, now I'm starting to think about the question that you're asking me. You're asking me a Concierge Trade Alert stop placement kind of a question. That's the sort of thing I deal with partners in the personal mentoring sessions. So You know, maybe you should book one of those and we can get into some granular detail and help you with that. If a person were just looking to get their goal for the day, they would have had their stop at 67 and they would have tapped it and they would have come back down and then they would have went back up and they would have had a hard target at 2 points, and as it traded through it, it would have taken them out and they'd be done for the day. Okay? If you're looking for a bigger move, see the way this is set up, it's got to have a pretty big stop. And those are the types of details that I get into. Now, some things can happen here over the next few minutes that might give you an opportunity to enter this trade with a significantly smaller stop. So, I'd love to spend time with you in a mentoring session, so get yourself signed up. All right, last night, the alerts came out at, I got them out before, right as the partners meeting was kicking in. I was finishing up the alerts. So it was really about probably 5-10 minutes till that I hit the final send button, and then the partners meeting started at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 2100 hours. Okay. And our first trigger came in the 23:30 hour. I don't know if that's when Hillary started speaking or not, but we put in a low at 21:57.50. So if we round that up to 58, that would be 3.5. So we got 3.5 points on the first move. That horizontal line you see across the screen, this black one, that's a weekly trading zone. Let's see, then we triggered again, and this time we got down to 21:58, so that's exactly 3 points. Oh, you know what? I've gone off into the recap without sharing any of the other stuff I wanted to share with you. I'll do the S&P, I'll do the other stuff, and then I'll finish the recap. All right? All right. This one got down to 58.50. So that's 2.5 points. And then you just had all this blah blah, and depending upon, well, this one here took you down to 58.25, so that's 2.75. Then we got back above, and down we come again, and we get down to 57.50. So that's 3.5 points. Nice on the S&P. Congratulations to all of you that participated in that, whether you got multiple trades or whether you just took your 2 points and said, I'm going fishing, or I'm going to take my family up north where it's cool and laugh about Dwayne lugging all that stuff down in Phoenix in the 115-degree heat. That's okay, brother. I still love you. All right. So the S&P, solid as a rock. Let's go to the other stuff that we need to go to. I wanted to share this with you because even though I'm pressed for time, I think it's worth talking about. Now, almost everyone who's a part of this community has read and or listened to Trading in the Zone. And you know that in Chapter 7, where we learn to think in probabilities, that Mark talks, he uses some gambling analogies. Okay, two people at the blackjack table. One's a businessman executing his business strategy, the dealer. The other person's a gambler. Well, what's the difference? They're playing a game of cards. Yes, but one of them has a definable edge over the other. You mean the one guy comes and plays knowing that the other person already has an... It's like you're 5'9" and you walk out onto the court, basketball court, with a guy who's 6'9". What's the chance you're going to win that game? Okay? Unless he's very clumsy, slim to none. That's what happens when you walk up to the blackjack table. You're 5'9" and the dealer's 6'9". The odds are in their favor. Why do I bring this up? Great question. I'm going to tell you. There's a man by the name of Steve Wynn. If you've ever been to Las Vegas, it's a name you know well. To cope with an entire market crashing under his feet, billionaire casino mogul Steve Wynn decided to change the rules of the game, or more appropriately, of the games, plural. We've changed the layout of the floor, Wynn said on a call with investors on Thursday. On Thursday, they reported earnings, had their investor conference call. We put our higher yield games in more prominent locations. We put destination type games like craps in secondary locations. We changed the amount of free odds that we give at dice games from what was commonly referred to as the 3-4-5 game. And that has to do with the amount of free odds you get if you made line bet to double odds. Now, I'm not a craps player, so that's kind of Greek to me, but I'm sure some of you in the audience do understand it. Wynn Resorts was brutalized from 2014 to 2015 as the Macau gaming market collapsed. The Chinese government chased out high rollers, limited foot traffic to the territory from the mainland, and started monitoring Chinese citizens' debit transactions as they gambled. Wynn Resorts was hit harder than any other company, as the lion's share of its revenue came from Macau. It was also hurt by the fact that gamblers from Asia weren't heading to Las Vegas to gamble as much either. At one point, Wynn said the lack of Asian traffic cost Wynn Resorts $150 million. Now, as you know, casinos aren't happy campers when they're losing money. And neither are the shareholders. They invest in casinos because they know that casinos have the odds in their favor and therefore they should make money. However, some people are opposed to investing in quote-unquote sin companies, alcohol, tobacco, gambling, etc. But I'm not here to preach today. Wynn shared the details of that overhaul on a call with analysts and investors on Thursday after his company posted a slight earnings beat. In a nutshell, he found ways to get more money out of the customers he had instead of chasing the customers he had lost. This is how you get to be a billionaire mogul. Wynn is known for having incredibly detailed knowledge about his casinos and the business in general, and this stuff is pretty impressive. Now, to give you an example, when someone has a 3-4-5 crap game, the house advantage is 37 basis points, 38 basis points. When you go to double odds, the house advantage is 58 basis points or 57 basis points. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's a very narrow margin of a house advantage mathematically. However, 20 basis points is a 60% or 70% increase in the margin of a dice game, so that the outcome in terms of profitability was based upon a rather granular analysis of each game. We made a bunch of changes, and in doing so, we were able to overcome, in terms of profitability, what would ordinarily have been a massive loss of top-line revenue. So the gaming industry is a little deceptive in many respects. It takes a very sharp analysis and a very high degree of self-awareness, because when you take rooms away from the casino block and you could sell them for cash, our margins in the hotel rooms are very high, as they are in slot machines. Casino table games in Las Vegas, if you were to do an analysis, would have a profit margin in the teens at best. We were able to take our profit margins in table games up into the 40s, which I think is unique in our industry. Well, this kind of analysis applied to China is also very enlightening and instructive. Wynn is going to need to keep this up. Next month, he opens yet another casino in Macau. Unbelievable. And Las Vegas Sands will open another after that in September. Demand has stabilized, but it's not at all what it used to be. And more supply is coming online. Now, when we teach you about thinking in probabilities when you trade, when we tell you that you have 10 trades a day to make your $100 per contract, I can't tell you how many people I talk to over the course of a week in mentoring sessions who, when I ask, are you taking all 10 trades each day and still not able to make your $100? Oh, no, it's not like, well, tell me what's going on. Well, I either make my $100 in the first trade or the second trade. After that, I get bummed out and walk away. So you don't make your $100 that day. Yeah. And so I've been trying now for however long to get my 10 days in a row. Okay, do you understand you cannot get your 10 days in a row if you don't put the odds in your favor? Just like with the Sheldon. By changing just a couple of tiny little things around that nobody would have never even noticed, really, if he hadn't talked about it on a conference call, which he did, which is an honorable thing to be transparent. He's talking to analysts who are going to rate his stock, and also to shareholders who are going to invest in his company or have already invested in his company. And he came straight out with it. This is what we did. We're not chasing the customers we've lost. We're simply making sure we are more profitable on the customers we still have. What you have is you have an opportunity to make $100 per contract per day in 10 trades or less. You do not get up and walk away from the desk until you've made your $100. If you got to go to the bathroom or get coffee, go ahead. Now, if today is one of the days where, you get it on the first trade and you think you're a super trader, awesome. Please don't think that, but just awesome. The 9 trades you didn't use, they rolled to tomorrow. So when you come in tomorrow, you got 19 trades to make your $100. you can't walk away from that desk until you've either made $100 or burned up 19 trades. And if you burn up 19 trades trying to make $100, we got to go back into Sim, and we got to, you know, or if you're already in Sim, we got to get into a mentoring session and figure out what in the world would require 19 trades to make $100. I mean, you're not Michael, okay? You're not watching 5 markets at a time. You're not taking every trade that comes down the pipe. You're using some discretion as I teach you in the mentoring sessions, okay? Take the trades that truly give you the highest probability. Alright, we've made a bunch of changes, and in doing so, we were able to overcome, in terms of profitability, what would ordinarily have been a massive loss of top-line revenue. I tell so many people, you just don't know how close you are. You are just a couple of mouse clicks away from consistent profitability. But there's this human thing that we're all suspect to, that, you know, if we haven't knocked it out of the park by the 4th trade, we get all down on ourselves, you know, our lip hangs low, and we mosey out. Yeah, I knew I'd never make it. What do you mean you never make it? Well, you took 4 trades. Yeah, but I'm negative on the day. So what? Get yourself back in there. Get your head clear first. And do that however. Some people go out in their garage and punch the body bag. Some people pray. Some people listen to praise and worship music. Some people take a walk. Some people talk to the dog. Clear your head however you clear your head. You get back on the job. Okay? I'm serious. You've got 10 trades every day to make your $100, plus every rollover trade. And if you're not using all your inventory to go chase that $100 bill, you're never going to get there. The 24/20 blueprint that takes you from 1 to 20 contracts in 1 to 20 contracts in 24 months, you'll never get there. You'll grow old chasing that thing because you won't sit there long enough to make your $100. Now, those of you that are new to this show are like, what's this guy talking about? What's a 24/20 blueprint? Oh, guys, I would love to go into it today, but we're short on time. I just wanted to point out what Sheldon has done to save his massive empire by tweaking a couple of little things, okay? If you're a CFRN partner, okay, if you're in our mentoring program, all the heavy lifting has been done. The tweaking has already been done. But that tweaking that Sheldon just did, or Steve, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Sheldon, the other mogul. Steve went. All the tweaking he did, if his dealers don't follow the rules when they deal, if the guy on the craps table doesn't do what Steve has now told him to do, what the new rules are, if he doesn't follow them, then it won't work. And they won't be profitable. And pretty soon, it'll be a ghost town. And Steve Wynn, the mogul, will be a fond memory. Okay? But this guy, he's moving on. He's opening 2 new shops in Macau, where he's lost the most money. Why? Because he knows he has tweaked the odds in his favor to such a degree that it won't hurt the individual customer. They'll barely ever notice there was a change, but spread over all the people at all the tables, at all the resorts, casinos, hotels, etc. It's going to fix everything, okay? You're going to fix everything by making sure you don't walk out till you make your $100. Now, if it's not that important to you, if you got other things you'd rather be doing, that's okay. Just when we go into a mentoring session, just tell me, you know, I'm just kind of fooling around with this trading thing. It's not that really big a deal to me. So, because I come in like a bulldog, right? I'm looking for the guys that want to make $250,000 plus per year. That's who I really want to help. But I'll help anybody. If you just want to make, you know, 10, 20, 30,000 a year, I'll help you. If you want to make 50,000 a year, I'll help you. If you're a CFRN partner, I'll help you any possible way I can. All right? But I love getting in the box with a guy who's got his sights set on $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year, because he's not talking to me about the Ferrari he's going to buy. He's talking to me about the orphanage he's going to build, or the people he's going to feed, or the wells he's going to dig. And I know that by me helping him get consistently profitable and increase the number of contracts, that I get to play a tiny part in every one of those wells that are dug. Do you know how many thousands of people die every day in the world because of unsanitary drinking water? It's an astronomical number. Google it. I don't want to just tell you the number. I want you to Google it, and you're going to go, oh my goodness. And you're going to start thinking, wow, I could save one life tomorrow with the spare change I have in my pocket. Now, I'm not collecting money right now to dig wells. That's not what we do. We have an orphanage, but that's a whole other story. And I don't talk about that a lot because I don't want folks to get things confused. CFRN is a Christian talk radio station with an educational arm that teaches people how to trade. It is a for-profit company. We do have a nonprofit, but you rarely hear me bring up our nonprofit on the show because I don't want people getting mixed signals. That's not good. We talked about, I think last night in the live trading room, I brought up the fact that somebody had once asked me what I do with the money. I said, I'm sorry, what? He goes, so what do you do with the money? And I said, what money? He goes, the money you make. I go, well, I kind of like sleeping with a roof over my head. We enjoy air conditioning here in Arizona, so I pay the electric bill. My children that we adopted, they kind of have gotten used to eating 3 times a day now, or more. He goes, you mean you just spend the money? I go, yeah. What do you do with your money? Well, that's different. I go, how is that different? I said, do you own a business or are you an employee? I don't even remember his answer. Doesn't matter. I said, I'm a business owner, and out of my profits, you know, the part that's mine after I pay my bills, spend it any way I want. Oh, so that's what it's all about. I said, sir, I wish you all the very best on your trading journey. If I can ever be of service to you, please give me a call. And we parted company. Friends, I guess. I don't know. It's amazing the ideas that people can get in their head. You know. This is not a charity, okay? I have one, but this is not a charity. All right. What else is in the chat box before I move on? Because all we got left is good word for the day, and then we do the Concierge Trade Alerts, and then that wraps it for the week because I got to go move heavy boxes in 115 degree heat. All right. John B. says, and if all that is not enough, I think the Dems that support abortion have their hands dripping with the innocent blood of unborn babies. And, well, you know, that's a tough topic, John B., for me to talk about on the radio because no doubt there's people in the audience, men and women, who have been in a relationship and perhaps before they were walking with the Lord or whatever happened. And while we know that is not a positive thing, I don't want to heap guilt on people. I want them to know that we serve a God who is just and quick to forgive, who says, you're forgiven, now go and sin no more. In other words, yes, I'll forgive you, and if you mess up again, I'll forgive you again, but the way this thing's supposed to work is I forgive you, and then you stop doing whatever bad thing it was you were doing, whether it's, you know, gratuitous sex or drugs or whatever it is, you know. He forgives. Just leave it at that. But I understand your heart on that, okay? There is forgiveness for everyone, but first there has to be repentance. Yes, to repent means to turn and go the other way. Question, why did you want to use Telegram and not some other via example email? Because I like the Telegram app. I think it's really cool. I love the sound that it makes. I love the interface. It's elegant. It's simple. JT, it's just, it'll work on every device. See, so many apps will work on Apple but nothing else. Or they'll work on an Android and nothing else. Or they'll work on a PC and nothing else. Or a Mac and nothing else. This thing works on everything. And it's free. And it's scalable. I can bring up to 5,000 people into that channel. So, guess who's got to go? Okay. Received 2 messages from CFRN Daily Trades on Telegraph, Dwayne, and it seems to be working real well. Thank you, John B. Bill, can you put that in chat box? Bill, tell me what you want in the chat box. Tell me what you want in the chat box, and if I can, I'll put it there. Let's see. Oh, the Citrix number in the chat box. Yeah, sure. No problem. I should have just done that to start with. Citrix 1-800. Two, 6, 3. 1, 6, 1. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's a Citrix number, and then somebody wanted the Sunday 5 p.m. If you still haven't received the welcome email with the link that gets you into the Daily Double secret channel, Sunday 5 p.m. If you need Telegram help, call 415-857-5654. Okay, guys, here it comes across in the chat box, so don't anybody type anything until, okay, it made it. That's a Citrix number, and then wait till Sunday at 5 so that I can wade through all these emails and send them out, and blah, 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 and then we'll get you, if by 5 I haven't hit you up, then we'll get you going Sunday night, and you'll be good to go Monday morning. Okay. All right. Good word for the day. Dealing with difficult people. We all have difficult people to deal with in our life. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's coworkers, sometimes it's the people we're on the board with at church. It can be anybody. But we've all got them. James 1:19 says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Imagine the world if everyone was quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. That's a nice place. The only way to avoid having to deal with difficult people is to move to another planet. I hear there's a ship leaving from Mars, I think sometime next year. True story. Human beings are a mixture of vices and virtues, and unless you understand that, you won't be able to work or live with them successfully. The story is told of a monk who joined a monastery and took a vow of silence. Once a year, he was invited to appear before the abbot, that's the chief monk, and he was permitted to say one thing. After the first year, when he was asked what he had to say, he replied, "The bed's too hard." At the end of the second year, when he was asked, he responded, "The room's too cold." At the end of the third year, he was asked the same question again, and he replied, "The food's terrible, I quit." At that point, the abbot smiled with relief and said, "Thank goodness, because you've done nothing but complain since you got here." Think about it. Even if you joined a monastery, you'd still have to deal with difficult people. So what can you do? Learn from the farmer. He plants, he pulls weeds, he cultivates, knowing the harvest will eventually come if he patiently keeps doing these things. It's one of the reasons that James writes, "My dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires." That's James 1:19 and 20. There are no shortcuts. The only way to have a good relationship is to work at it and be patient. When you do, God will bless that relationship. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. That is our good word for the day. All right. Now we're going to go back to the chat box for a minute. And let's see if there's anything else. Tom says, is it important to look at a lower time frame chart for your signals? Which signals are you referring to, Tom? Dwayne, how about trade the pullback after the breakout? Sure. The market is always building legs in one direction or another. Leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace. Where so many people make their mistake is after the market puts in a nice leg, they go, man, this looks good, I'm getting in. And they get in right when the thing's ready to retrace. Oh, man. Then they watch it build another beautiful leg and they go, whoa, I'm not going to miss this one. And so they jump in right as it's ready to retrace. This is what the market does. If it's in an uptrend, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. Now, where do you want to get in? Here? No. Here. Here? No. Here. Here? Probably not. Because you just put in a long leg. What's the time to do? Retrace. And then something like this will happen. You'll put in a leg, but you'll fail to put in a higher high. And that's your first sign that we're getting ready to do this and start drawing legs in the other direction. The market is always drawing legs in one direction or another, except when it's in a transition, sometimes it'll go flat and sideways. Okay? Bart says, I received the welcome email for the beta test. Should I install it before your video on background and sound is released? No, you could go. No, go ahead and get it installed. That way, when you watch the video, Bart, you'll be able to go, oh, because you'll watch the video, and when I say now do this, you'll hit pause. You'll do that, and yeah, go ahead and get it installed. Absolutely. Great question, by the way. Okay. You have a zone over the 2165 and 64. Thanks. Do you have a zone? Let me look at my sheet. I have a zone at 64.65. Next zone overhead is 73.74. I think we all see what happened here. This is one of those instances where we got close to the zone and there just wasn't enough power to push it through. And the zone below us is back here at 64.75. So what we have here is we have a leg and a retracement. We have a perfect 38% retracement. And if we don't take out the low of this candle, there's a good chance. Now, if we don't take out the low, we will have to take out the high, but then we go up to test the high of the day, and then that allows us to break into blue sky where we could hit that next zone overhead, which is 73.74. After 73.74 is 80.81, and after that is 96.97. I know it's late on a Friday to be giving these out, but since Alan asked, now below us we've got 64.65, below that 56.57, below that 44.45, and below that 27.28. Okay? So now you know. Alright, let's get over to the YM. And let's get these done. Because I want to get started before it gets too hot. Where's my phone? What's the temperature? What's the ambient temperature outside right now? It's only 99. What am I in here whining about? It's only 99 so far. Okay. Alerts went out at 9 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, they went out at 8:45. So we're using 9 o'clock. So we're calling it 2100. Okay. So 2100 is that candle right there. Okay. Now again, the alerts went out at 8:45. I'm dropping the line at 9 p.m. Okay? So any little discrepancies, you'll understand. Buyers at 18,430 didn't happen. Sellers at 18,340 happened. Okay. Should be simple enough. 18,340. Okay. I'm going to start just using S for sell, B for buy, sell, 18,340, 18,340. No, I didn't lay awake thinking about that. It just came to me. It just makes sense. Okay, so the swing low here is 18. So that's 22. Okay. And then we go up and we come back down. This time we get all the way to 27. So that's 13. Oh, did I tell you guys about the lady that was rude to me? Yeah, I did. I told you. The lady that was rude to the title company called me a liar. She didn't use the word liar, but she snatched the phone out of my hand as I was talking to my buyer. And she said, "What he's telling you is not true." Ooh, I turned red. And my son was right there. And so I kept my cool. She ended up storming out of the office, gone for the day. First, I asked her for her business card. You know what she did? I didn't have my glasses on or with me. She pointed at the card at the bottom of the rack, and then she stormed out the door. And I reached for the card she pointed at, and the very nice receptionist, Tiffany, she said, "Mr. Reeves, it's the one up here on the other side." I thought to myself, unbelievable. Okay. So I said, "Would you be so kind as to put her supervisor's phone number and name and phone number on the back?" And she said, "Yes, sir." And then the two ladies left in the office. They couldn't have been nicer. They said, "We're so sorry that she acted that way to you. You didn't deserve that. The whole thing's been an unfortunate series of events, and we're so sorry." And I said, "You know what? If I still had, employees, I would love to have you guys work for me. I mean, they are the kind of people you want representing you." And so on the drive home, I called and left a very peaceful message with the supervisor and said, "I just had a situation with one of your employees, your office manager, at this address, and at your convenience, would you please call me?" And so yesterday she did, and she said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, Chicago Title, you called." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I guess the best thing to do is to just give you the short version of the story and not drag it out." And I told her exactly what happened. It blew me away what she said. She said, "Mr. Reeves, I wish I could tell you that this was the first time I had gotten one of these kinds of phone calls on this employee." She said, "It is an ongoing problem." And she said, "Something is going to have to be done about it." I said, "Now my point was not to cause anybody, to lose their job or anything." She said, "Well, sir, if you were the only call that I had ever received, that would be one thing." She said, "But this is a person who is literally out of control, and I don't know what measures will be taken. I do know that she and I will speak personally about this, and that marks will be made on her permanent record or something. You know, and then I kind of started to feel bad, even though, but then I remembered she called me a liar in front of my son, and that's not cool, okay? Because one of the most important things you try to teach a child growing up is don't lie, okay? It may hurt to tell the truth, but just go ahead and tell it, get it over with, and the person that you're about to lie to, because you told them the truth, they might yell at you at first, but then they'll come alongside and try to help you, because you're honest with them. People appreciate honesty. Honesty builds trust. And once you have someone's trust, that is a beautiful treasure. Don't violate it. Certainly don't violate it intentionally, okay? Because gaining it back is going to be a whole lot harder to get it back than it was to earn it in the beginning. See, you have to earn someone's trust. People don't just give trust. That's a whole nother sermon. All right, then we dropped down to 27 again. Okay, so that's another 13. Now remember, on the Dow, $5 a point, so you need 20 points total. And you've got how many trades? 10, plus any rollovers that you might need. Okay, now this tipped it, but you would not have gotten stopped out on this. Why? Because I will teach you why you wouldn't get stopped out on that. From 40 down to 11. 42, so it'd be 29. And then this one. Okay, so now we got 44. Alright, so the market made 22 available. We never get out at the exact swing low or high. Why? Because we trail our stop. In the beginning, when you first become one of our partners and you're in the mentoring program, we're going to have you using a hard target. So like this 22 here, you would have been done for the day because you'd have hit 20, it went through it, boom, you're out of there. Okay? Now, once you gain some experience, you'll trail your stop loss the way Michael does. Market made 13 available. Market made 13 available. Market made 29 available. Market made 44 available. So, you know, let's say you've already graduated to the point of trailing your stop. Okay, so 22, maybe you got 15. 13, maybe you got 8. Maybe you got another 8. 29, maybe you caught 20 of it. 44, maybe you got 30 of it, you know. I'm being very conservative here. That adds up pretty well, pretty quick, okay? All right. Okay, this has to be fixed. Thought I fixed it yesterday. GGC's. There we go. Okay, 2100 right there. Boy, that was a humdinger right there. Something happened last night at 23:30. Was Hillary speaking then? I'm noticing on all these charts there's this weird spike at 23:30. Was there some news I'm not aware of that came out last night at that time? In fact, let's look and see if there was an economic report out of Russia or China. I'm thinking it might have had to do with the convention. I don't know. I thought the convention was over. No, they were still going at it last night. So let me get to investing.com. And let's get over to the economic calendar. Please. Oh, close the ad. There we go. Economic calendar. Okay. We want yesterday at 23:30. Okay, catch up, catch up. $23.45. Bank of Japan monetary policy statement. Those are 30-minute candles you're looking at, and this came out quarter till. Okay, so that right there, and this is why I always encourage you guys to use this economic calendar. Okay, because the Bank of Japan's monetary policy statement and the Bank of Japan outlook at 23.45, it rocked the S&P, it rocked gold, and we'll see what else it rocked. But now we know we're no longer stumbling in darkness. Okay, so oh, stop. All right. Drop. Oh, wait, that was at 2100. Oh, this was the Bank of Japan. This is my line that I dropped because this is when I sent out the notice. Okay. All right. Don't confuse yourself. We are in December goal by 1346. 1346. That's going to be right here. And right here. You get it? Yes. And how am I going to write it? B 1346. Bingo. By 1346. Okay. First move up took us to 1347 on the nose. So that's $100. $10 per tick. So $100 per contract. That's the maximum available. That's what the market made available. Okay. All right. We then get. Let me go ahead and put the short side on here. 1339. I guess we did hit that. Short side 1339. So how are we going to write that? S 1330. Okay, so this little guy here, it didn't do a lot. Got up to 46.70. So it was 7 ticks. Depending upon how you were trading it or not trading it. And this guy got up to 50.70. So 46 to 50, that's 47 ticks. $47 ticks times $10 per tick. $470. If you're trailing your stop and caught half of it, good for you. Done for the day. Okay. Now this drop took us down to 36.70. So let's just roll that up to 37. 200 bucks. I'll call it 200 plus. Okay. And this one went all the way to 55. Ooh. From 46. Oh, it kept going. Oh, man. It went to 55.8. If it had gone to 56. 2 ticks shy of 1K per contract. Okay. And then, friend, the low was 52 point, no, the low was 46 on the nose. If it had gone one more tick, that would have reset the trade, and we would have had, we almost had $1,000 move, and we had $1,000 move, but in order for the trade to reset, it has to go one tick below the trigger at 46, and the low was 46 on the nose. But it just goes to show that important prices in important areas almost always tested. Okay. Bonds. Oh, somebody told me I missed marking up a couple trades yesterday, and I said, okay, we'll go catch those, and I think it was the NASDAQ, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but we can go back and we can do them today if you want to. Just slipped my mind until we were already off the show. I was headed to do it and I got sidetracked with something. And then the next thing I knew, the show was over and I hadn't done it. Okay, this is bonds. Okay. All right. On bonds last night, when we sent out the email, here's what it said. Here's what it said. ZBU6 be a buyer at 73.28 and a seller at 73.02. I'm gonna splurge on a new mouse. I found several nice about the house, but none of them seem to want to work very well. So I'm just not gonna deal with it anymore. All right, bonds. Buy 173.28. Was that possible? 173.28, right on the nose there. $73.28. Okay. This thing put in a high at 174.01. There's 32 ticks to a point. So from 28 to 32 is 4. So this was 5. This would have been a 5-tick move. Okay. Bonds pay $31.25 per tick. 4 ticks is $125. The daily goal is $100 per contract. Okay. So, could you have done something with this? Yes. Might it have ended up? Well, it shouldn't have stopped you out, because if you're in this, you're still in this. Over here, that's a different story. I'm thinking, because the swing high here is 173.29. Yeah, that went that went all of 1 tick in your favor. Yeah, so that's just big old stomp out. Okay. Call it what it is. Stop out. I mean, you literally could have got stopped out on both of them. 73.29. Yeah, you actually could. Sorry about that. Sell 73.02. I like the sound of that much better. Bonds are tricky, I'm telling you. You almost always want to be working with smaller time frame, as was asked earlier, to time your entry, because, well, let me just tell you the truth about trading. So we're gonna go S173.02. Okay. Now, the place you would need to put your stop here, no way you're taking that trade. Okay? And probably not going to take that one either. I'm just being honest. So while this looks like a beautiful, now if you had gone to a smaller time frame where you could get a reasonable stop loss, because this moved so far so fast. And see, by the time it broke here, I mean, your stop's got to be way back up here, and at 31.25 a tick, it's just too much. It's just too much. How low did this thing go? 171.25. Sometimes you're going to just walk away from absolutely beautifully gorgeous trades, and you just got to deal with it. Let's drop it down to a 15 and see if that changes anything. Nope, I still wouldn't have taken either one of those. Let's drop it to 5 minutes. I wouldn't even have taken that. Let's go 4-tick range. Probably won't be able to even find it, but we'll try. Custom range. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. So this trigger, and this trigger, yeah, no way you shake it. On the bonds, you just did not get a proper setup the way I teach them to make it worth the risk to be in the trade. Although the trade made a beautiful move, it just wasn't worth it. Would have been gambling. See, taking that trade would have been a gamble, and we're not about gambling. We're about taking high probability trade setups. Okay. All right. 2100. My biggest concern is that after all that movement today, I might be too tired to watch TV tonight. Although this time of year, there's nothing to watch. No Blue Bloods, no new Shark Tank. All my favorite Friday night shows, they're not happening. I might have to do something like read a book. I don't know. Okay. Crude oil. GCLU6, crude, a buyer at 41.20, a seller at 40.90. Okay, here's my seller at 40.90, and that gets you off for the day. The 40.90, yep. S 40.90. Oh, but I gotta drag that over some more. S. Somebody called me on a 4 and 5 number. I can't answer it during the show. I lose my train of thought, and you hear my conversation. All right, so 40.90. All right. This first drop, I mean, there's not anything really to. I mean, there's 7 ticks there, but this is your move. You got all the way down to 57. So that's 33 ticks. That's $330 per contract. 33 ticks times $10 per tick. Okay. And then important prices, important areas, almost always tested. It got above the trigger by 2 ticks, which gives us another trade, which puts in a low at 61. That's 29 ticks, or $290 per contract. Price then gets back above the trigger, and down we go again. This time we put in a low at 40.59. So that would be 40.59. Well, at 60, that would be 30, so it would be 31. $310 per contract. And there's plenty of volume in crude, so there's no problem with 10, 20 contracts over here. Okay. Now, what was the upside on crude? 541.20. Love it, love it, love it. 541.20. Okay. By 41.20. All right. Now this first little move up took you to 41.40. That's 20 ticks, and you only need 10 to be done for the day. Okay. Now, if you didn't get out, if you're type to trail your stop and you stayed in the trade, it actually went as high as 63. So 20 to 60, so that's 43. Yeah. Doesn't it say 63? No, it says 83 or something. I gotta get my eyes checked. No, it does say 63. Okay. So 20, 63, 43. Or $430 per contract. Price gets back below the trigger, up we go again. Swing high is 38, so that's 18 for $180 per contract. And then we get below and away we go, and from 20 to 50 we got 30 so far right there, and it seems to be climbing. So I'll just say 30. So far. 30 so far. All right. A little over 30 so far. So that's crude. All right. Working our way through this thing. I'm working my way back to you, babe. Name that band. With a burning love inside. Let's see, let me scroll down and see who named that band. Nobody knows. I'm amazed. Bill, you got a question on gold? We'll go back and look at gold. Oh, that's my daily goal. Goal. Okay. Let's see, your comment, that was a something 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. When this bubble pops, I hope I have mastered trailing stops. Bill says there was no structure or rhyme or reason in that whipsaw. Well, what it was is there was an economic news event, okay? Big news, like when the Bank of Japan does their announcement, that's like the Fed announcement here in the United States. And we get this big whipsaw when we get a Fed announcement, and we tell everybody to get off the playing field, get some popcorn, go up in the bleachers, watch the crazy whipsaw action, and when things settle down, get back on the playing field. Okay? Same thing goes for, that's why I just showed you my favorite economic calendar, investing.com, because it shows not only the important economic reports in the U.S., but worldwide. China, Russia, everywhere. Every place that has an economy that puts out economic reports, it covers them. And so anyone last night watching the calendar would have known to be flat during this time period. Why? Because the Bank of Japan was about to give a high impact report. It had 3 little steerheads next to it. In fact, there was 2 reports back to back out of Japan at 21:45. And so everybody was forewarned, don't get caught in this. So always, if you're going to trade overnight, you're going to trade Globex, you got to check that economic calendar just like you do when you're trading during regular trading hours. Okay? Wouldn't you have been stopped out on the last 40.90 short on gold? 40.90 short on gold. 40.90. 40.90. Where's... Help me find it, Bill. The only short trade we had in gold would have been this one here, where we triggered here, then it pulled back a little bit, then it dropped 200 bucks. No, the way that I teach you to place your stops on Concierge Trade Alerts and on the 1 trade a days, no, you wouldn't have been stopped out on that. If this is what you're talking about, is that the one that you're referring to, Bill? The Four Seasons, Alan. Good job. Working my way back to you, babe. No one knows if the girl took him back. Is that a line from the song? I don't remember that line. BJ got it right too, Four Seasons. Good job, guys. Oh, there's more stuff. I need to scroll down. Hang on. So you understand now, Bill, why that happened. Because of the biggest economic release Japan has. Frederick says that Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. Okay, I got it. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Bill. found out last night when it was happening. Gotcha. Okay. All right, so we're now ready to do soybeans. November beans, the kindest beans of all. ZSS 6, buy 984, sell 975. I'm telling you, November beans, it's like they just hand you money. Compared to the rest of the year, and they pay the same as the S&P 500, $12.50 a tick, 4 ticks to a point, $50 per point. So sell 984. Okay. Sell 984. Okay, this low right here is 971 and a quarter. We'll just round it up to 72 because that's 12 points. That's 12 times $50. Doesn't hardly seem possible, does it? Oh, no, this wasn't the WASDE report. That thing doesn't come out till, no. So, okay, then we got back above the trigger. Okay. And from 984, we put in a low at 968. So let's round it up to 69. 84 minus 69. $750 per contract. That's what the market made available. How much you got out of it depends upon how tightly you were trailing your stop, and or if you were in the trade. Okay. On the sell side, 975. I got these totally backwards. Oh, Dwayne. Let me show you what I mean by I got it backwards. Buy 984, sell 975. All right, let's fix it. Buy 984. Sell 975. Oh, I got that part right. I had it right all along. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Oh, I just wrote it wrong. That's what I did. Forgive me. It's Friday and it's late. Is that 975? Yes, it is. Still 975, so all these numbers are still correct. No mistakes there. Buying 984 at a swing high of 10.04.75. But we'll just call it 10.04. All right. 10.04 minus 984. Duh. 20 points. Which makes it I love it. 1K 1K per contract. 20 points. That's what the market made available. 20 points. Keep in mind, trading is risky. It is not suitable for all people. You can lose all of your money and then some. You should consult with a licensed investment professional before making any investment decisions. That sounds like boilerplate. You see it on all the different websites. We actually mean it. We really do want you to, before you start throwing money at the market. It would be like me going to Vegas and walking up to the craps table and just throwing down some money. I don't know how craps works. I would have no idea that Steve Wynn tweaked the odds. I mean, I don't even know I don't know the rules of the game. So such is the same as a trader who comes into the market, opens an account, and just starts placing trades because it looks like it might go up or it looks like it might go down. If you don't get your education with us, just please, please, please get an education somewhere, okay? I'll say that again. If you don't get your education with us, that's okay. But before you start throwing money at the market, please get an education somewhere. Now, there are some places, well, there's one guy in particular I know of, I'm not going to call his name, but he claims that he's going to personally mentor you and blah, blah, and he's got a big name. If I said his name, everybody would go, oh, I know that guy. He's awesome. Well, you haven't been through his program probably. I don't know. But he has a team of, what do they call them, counselors, or I don't know, something. And you'll be assigned to one of these people. And when you call in for help because you're stressed out or you're hurting, or you just need somebody to talk to, or somebody to pray for you, or actually somebody to actually teach you to trade, the thing you paid for, you'll get your personal coach. Maybe that's the term they use. But the big guy, the one with his name on the thing, you're not going to talk to him. He doesn't talk to people like us common folk. Now, you notice I said us, okay? I've never been through the program. I've just heard about it from so many of our students. And they lament the money they spend, but they're happy that they're in a place now where they can actually talk to somebody who does care and who will try to help them no matter what. Okay? Does that make us better than them? I don't think of it in terms of, it makes us different. I don't know if you call it better. You can call it whatever you want. Just makes us different. That's all. All right, let's move on. No, math is wrong from 975. The math is wrong from 975. Okay. 975 Sell 975. And the swing low here is 972. You're right. From 975 to that swing low is 3 points. To that swing low. Here, let's just do this. Let's just clean this up totally. I wish you hadn't left already, so I could personally thank you. Here. Now, there we go. So that one candle was enough to give you your points for the day. You just need 2 points. Now, let's see if we got this math right. 975 minus a swing low of 969. 75 minus 69. 75 minus 69 times 50 equals 300. He's right. I had that one wrong too. Always, always correct me, guys, when I get the numbers wrong. Okay? I'm just one guy in a calculator. 975 to the swing low at 68.75, which we rounded up to 69. Okay, so 975 by 69. It's going to be 6 times 5 is 300 per contract. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. I'll send you an email and thank you since you've already left. BJ asked me, what do you think about the new combine programs that are offered now? I've yet to meet one person who has been profitable. Not knocking it, just telling you the truth. Talked to a lot of people that have gone through it, and nobody has ever successfully qualified. I did talk to one guy that got a paycheck, and then the next week he had a drawdown, and they kicked him to the curb after all that time. And you know, the slick advertising doesn't tell you about the training that you pay for. So anyway, but I don't like to talk about other people's business. It's how people run their business is their business, not my business. And so now, if you ever have a question and you want to talk, if you need to know something, if you're getting ready to drop some cash, I'll talk to you. I won't put people down. I will simply speak whatever truth I know, if I know any truth. So, I don't know everything. That's for sure. Alright, so this is the NQ. NQ. NASDAQ. NQ. Buy 34, sell 12. Okay, 534. Oh, goodness. 534. That amounted to a sharp stick in the eye. 934. I'm sorry. What the heck is going on here? I closed my window. No. Did I really? Oh, give me a minute. I gotta open that back up again. Man, I had important stuff. Oh, wait. There's a thing over here that says open recently closed. There's a place where you can recently closed. Control Shift T. I didn't do anything. I want to try it. Control Shift T. Ha! It opened all those tabs. If you use Google Chrome and you accidentally close a browser and you have a bunch of tabs open, if you push Control Shift T, they all come back. Nice. Okay. Very nice. So the NQ on the long side, that's just a stop out. Sorry. On the sell side, 47.12. That's a stop out too. Huh. The NASDAQ. You're dead to me. For today. That's alright, we did pretty good in some other markets, so we'll just have to get along with that. 2100. Okay. Oh, David said it was just a comment on the song since he's working his way back to her, but did she take him back? That's good. Yeah, now BJ, if you decide to go that direction, I would love to hear your experience. We don't have to do it on the radio. I mean, we could talk privately, or you could email me, or I mean, if there is a legitimate one of those things out there, and by legitimate I mean you go through the training and you actually start to get paychecks, and then this person told me that they had a drawdown that wasn't that bad, but it was enough to tell them that their services were no longer required. But what about all the time and money that I've spent? Well, sorry. You just aren't the type of person we're looking for. That's what they were told. I don't know personally. I don't know. Russell. Okay. I think we do the Russell and we're done. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. I think we've covered everything else. So the Russell by 1216. Okay. By 1216. Yes, that's the one that the person was involved with, BJ. That's what they told me. Now again, I'm not saying that's my story. That's the story that was given to me. So I'm sure there's forums or reviews. I'm sure there's ways to look around. You know. Talk to somebody that's been involved, and make sure they aren't an employee, and you know, just do some detective work, and you know, ask to sit in on some classes and some other things, and get a real feel, you know, and And you know what? Get all the information that you can, and then go into your prayer closet. Say, God, you know, I want to be a good steward of what you've given me, and I want to do the right thing, and I'm laying this before you as a fleece offering. I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to sit here and ramble. I'm going to listen to you and ask you to guide me. I'm not going to just take the advice of other men, because some men are going to say yay and some are going to say nay, but you always speak the truth, God. So let me just be quiet and listen to you. And that still small voice, you'll hear it. And you'll know the right thing. And you'll have peace. Okay, the swing high here was 23.6. So from 16 just to 23, that would be 7 points at $100 per point. So we're just going to call it $700 plus per contract. Yeah. All right. On the short side, Russell, sell 12.12. Okay. It happened, but it looks a little messy. Is that 12.12? Is that right? Okay. All right. So here, you know, on this, this might have been a stop out. I'm gonna write SO in there. Depends on where you put your stop, but just to err on the side of conservative, I'm gonna say that this first little move right here, being really conservative with stop placement. Yeah, I'd rather do it that way. Okay. Oh, I forgot to write sell 12.12. S 12.12. Huh? You thought you caught me. Okay. S 12.12. This one, this wild gyration, that's 4. If we conservatively round it, $400 per contract is what the market made available. Here we got 12.10 exactly, 12.10. Set us 200. Per contract. Now remember, the Russell is only $500 margin per contract. I know most people don't pay for the data, but once you become consistently profitable, consider it, because the cost is $100 a month. But if you make 1 point on one contract, that's $100, so it pays for itself. But if you're just brand new and just learning, and you're having fund accounts, pay for your education, all that, hey, just wait. It'll be there when you're ready. Okay. But if you're already consistently profitable, don't run from it just because it costs $100. When I was at the trade station years ago, I had to pay for all my data. My bill was up over $300. Then I got it reduced, and then I left. 12.18, so that's $200 per contract. Okay. Oh, back down here. This is just a lot of jingle jangle. What's this? That's basically $100. It's really 130. But see these small ones, if you caught, you know, well, I mean that was 400, but this one 200. If you just caught half of that, I mean that's your whole day. You're done for the day. Boom. Okay. This swing low here is 1206, so that's $600. And that is going to be my last calculation for this week. Pray for our country. Pray that God keeps His hand over us. No tragedies this weekend. Families can go out and go to parks, and spend time, enjoy life. Jesus said He came to give us life and life more abundant. You know, then He went to the cross to ensure our eternity. He also wanted us to, you know, have abundant life in the here and now. Now, I'm not talking the prosperity gospel, okay? Where if you don't have a Cadillac, if you don't have a brand new Cadillac in your driveway, then you ain't right with God. Please don't fall for that nonsense, okay? I got suckered down in 96 when I was 37 and I returned to the fold. Raise a child up in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. So apparently at 37, I was old. When I came back, that prosperity thing got my ears pricked up. Okay? But it wasn't too long before I knew, yeah, something's not quite right here. I believe God wants you to be blessed. In no way would any father take pride in his son or daughter having to go to school with holes in their shoes, tears in their clothes. Well, nowadays it's like cool to have all ripped up jeans and stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. A good father takes pride in their children, and they want them to have the best of everything. If they play an instrument at school, you want them to have a good instrument. If they draw, you want them to have the best art supplies. You know, that's how a good father takes care of his children. And so, we live in a fallen world. Now, I know some believers, okay, and personally in Africa. Man, they ain't got diddly squat. I'm pretty sure that's not on the words you can't say on the radio. But anyway, you go to pick them up for church on Sunday morning. They come up out of that mud hut, and that one white shirt they got, that thing is it's so bright it almost blinds you. And it's iron. I don't know how they get it iron. Man, that thing is clean and it's iron. And they got their Bible, and their face is just lit up. Now, in Africa, church is an all-day affair on Sunday. You go in the morning, church runs about 4 hours. Then you have dinner on the ground, everybody picnic style. We have about 800 in the church there. And so we do a big lunch, big spread for everybody. And then about 5 in the afternoon, pick up with the evening service. So people are there from like 9 in the morning till about 9 at night. Here in America, being a Christian is an important part of our life. Over there, being a Christian is their life. They don't have anything else. They don't have a plan B. They don't have something to fall back on. They don't have an extra credit line. You hear what I'm saying? They got Jesus, and that's it. And by the way, see, we have all these, alternative plans, all these fallback methods. They don't have that, but they're the happiest people I've ever met. They literally leap with joy just coming out of that mud hut, getting in the car with you, just smiling, hey, how you doing, praise God, and off to church and singing and dancing. And I'm telling you, you get a workout during those 4 hours, because the praise and worship part lasts about 2 hours, and then the preaching goes for a couple hours. Then you break, and all the ladies get the lunch ready, and the men sit around and talk, and then everybody eats together, and everybody kind of rests a little bit. You got to get your little nap in so you don't fall asleep during the evening service. So it's an all-day affair. We were not used to that the first time we went. And my friend Larry, who went with me, who, you've heard me talk to him, he passed a few years ago, but anyway, he went with me a couple times to Africa, and I grew up Pentecostal holiness, but then I was a member of a church that was classified as, well, we were non-denominational, but we were like charismatic, sort of, a lot of singing and dancing and clapping and leaping for joy and stuff, and that was cool. But I was not in shape. I had not had the proper training for a 12-hour church day. 4 hours in the morning, then lunch, and a nap. And it's hot and sticky most all the time. There's no popping inside, cooling down with the air conditioner. It's just hot and sticky, period. But nobody seems to mind, because they're all happy, smiling. And that meal they're having that Sunday, many of them do not know where that next meal is going to come from. But they don't worry about Monday. You know why? Because today's Sunday. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. They know God will take care of them tomorrow. They'll get up and they'll wander out and they'll find some kind of work. Somebody else, can you dig this hole for me? Oh, yes, sir. I'll pay you $1. All right, sir. And they go to work. 8 hours later, hole's dug. They get their $1. Go buy their dinner. And they're thankful. Okay? Now, we're doing everything in our power to change that. I mean, our kids coming out of the orphanage, we educate them, send them to university when we can. Fortunately, we got a lot of university-educated students, honors, summa cum laude digging ditches. What a waste of talent and brain power and manpower. And we're doing all we can to create jobs, to create industry. I want to open a trading floor there, desperately. When people talk about the major trading centers of the world, I want them to say New York, London, Paris, Kampala. And I don't want it to stay in that order too long. I'm serious. I'm serious. So, I can't do it by myself, though. You know whose help I need? God. Now, the reason I keep coming back to it is because I think it's his idea. I think it's his vision. I have to keep checking myself. Dwayne, is that your own vain imagination, or is that really God? You know, I have wore the fleece slap out with the fleece offerings. Okay, if it rains, you mean it. Okay, if it don't rain, it means it. Oh. Huh. So I'm done with the fleece offerings because it always comes back. Yes. So now I'm at the point of making excuses. Well, you know, I got kids in school and I got to make sure they get graduated. Dude, you have a school in Africa, and those kids might put your kids to shame when it comes to algebra and geometry and whatnot. So don't be afraid. Don't let that be your excuse. It's so hot, though. Hello, you live in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be 115 degrees today. Oh. See, every excuse I come up with, God just snatches it. Oh, yeah. He's good. All right, I'm going to go. Because you might have heard I got some stuff I got to get done today. Listen, thanks so much for tuning in today. It is the weekend. Please spend some quality time with your family. They love you. They need you. They want to be with you. I'll see you all in church on Sunday. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-host and guest. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.
Oh, baby. This thing is worthless. I'm gonna have to go get a new daggone phone. This sucker can't stay charged for 5 minutes. in here, I'll tell you that.